Well, good morning. How are you this beautifully sunny Friday morning? My name's Christine and I shall be your Google Digital Garage trainer for this session, all about digital marketing strategy. So what we're going to do today is we are going to try and stay high level and think about all the sorts of things to think about when you're pulling together your marketing for your business. As I say, my name's Christine and I'm one of the trainers here on Google's free skills training program, the Google Digital Garage. I've been a marketeer since before it was digital. I worked for one of the world's biggest companies who definitely thought way back when that if they just ignored the internet, it might go away. And obviously we can imagine how that went for them. There's always best time to have got everything sorted for your marketing was way back when. The second best time is right now. So starting today, what I want for you is that you really start to get a grips out of all the different ways of marketing your business and then start honing in on the ones that are going to be right for you. So we don't do this on our own. Alongside me today, I've got the wonderful Roshane. Now, Roshane's also one of our really experienced Google Digital Google Digital Garage trainers. And she's in the instant chat right now. She's here to support us both. She is going to send you some links. She'll pop some links in the chat of tools and techniques and things that I'm talking about. She'll also, if you've got questions, she'll be able to answer those as we go through. She will also maybe add some extra detail from her own knowledge and also from maybe she'll even ask you a few questions. Basically, the more you tell us about what you want to know, where you want to go with your business, what kind of business you're in, that sort of thing, the more we can tailor what we say. So in order to do that, why not pop in and say hi to Roshane in the chat? She has a little blue spanner next to her name, and that's how you know you're talking to our moderator today. To do that, you're going to need to be signed in to your YouTube account. So if you're not browsing signed in already, pop up to the box on the right-hand side up there. You should see a little icon to sign up or sign in to YouTube. If you get going with that, then by the time I've finished all the intros, you'll be back, joined us and fine. And as I say, if you are out there, why not just say hi to Roshane? Maybe let her know what kind of business you have, and maybe you don't have your business yet, maybe the kind of area you're going to go into. And also maybe let her know why you joined us, what you're looking to get from today. The other thing Roshane will be doing is this webinar, Digital Marketing Strategy, this broadcast is, as I say, I'm going to try and stay quite high level. It is a challenge for me because I get quite excited and want to go deep into some of the things. I'm going to try and stay quite high level, but the great news is we do have lots of resources. So the other thing Roshane will be doing is she'll be signposting you as we go through to some of the different resources we've got for you, other broadcasts, that sort of thing. Because, as you might be aware, we are running this Google Digital Garage training session as part of our broader offering of courses. So we've got upcoming broadcasts, upcoming training sessions. We've also got various different methods for learning. You can watch some videos, you can join various perhaps more academic ways of learning as well. So if you want to see what's coming up, head to the description below, click on the link, it'll take you through to our website and you can be able to see what else is going on. And we are going to pause as we go through. Roshane will answer questions as we go. What she will then do is, as we pause 2 or 3 times throughout the session, she is going to send me some of the questions that she thinks will be great for the whole group to hear the answer to. It is a packed session, so get your questions in kind of as you think of them, and then hopefully we'll answer as many as we can together as we go through. Right, so what we're going to be talking about is digital marketing. Taking a high-level view, we'll look at taking a little bit of an understanding of the landscape. And you might appreciate with the pace of change at the moment that the minute anything gets approved and put onto a slide, the next new thing has come along. So we're going to be trying to talk in, rather than deep specifics, maybe some of the broader areas of why digital marketing is so important and some of the ways it might help a business. Then we'll take a look at some of the digital marketing channels that are out there at the moment. I'm going to take you through 6 key channels. 6 key ways of getting your message to and from your audience. Just because we're going to talk about them doesn't mean you have to do all of them. Really, really important. And actually the art of the digital marketing plan it's as much about selecting what you won't be doing as thinking about what you will be doing. I want you to hone in and really focus on a couple of things that are really going to make a practical difference to your business, which is what we look at in the third session. You are not going to be, we've only got an hour together, tons to get through. You are not going to be, at the end of this session, very unlikely you will have your finished digital marketing plan ready to go. So lots of ideas, lots of inspiration, hopefully, lots of things that you can go away and learn more about. So this is a great jumping off point if you are just joining us for the first time today. And just as a quick mention, as a follow-on and as part of the offering, we do also have at the moment available, hopefully you'll find today's webinar broadcast useful, but we do also have free one-to-one mentoring available. And that's if you're a small business or a charity and you're based here in the UK, you can sign up for a free hour session with one of our Google Digital Garage trainers. We, as I say, the sessions are completely free. They're provided by Google, and you can have some one-to-one help on taking those next steps, whatever they may be. So sign up for that, book a session at g.co/UK mentoring. So let's jump on in and have a think about that digital marketing landscape, and maybe have a think for yourself. Whenever you do anything, digital marketing being one of those things, I want you to think about, well, what are you trying to achieve? As I say, you can let Roshane know what it is you're trying to achieve as we go through. But have a think about the opportunities for a business like yours might get from being online. Have a think about what benefits you're looking to gain. The real reason for this, why I really do labour on the thinking about the opportunities, thinking about what you want to get from this, is the more you can focus on the outcome, the easier your path is going to be. Okay. So have a think about what you're trying to achieve. Do, as I say, let Roshane know if there's something in particular you're looking to achieve with your digital marketing. That will definitely help us to craft what we say to help make sure we answer what you need to do. So digital marketing is super important, more important now in 2023 than it has been at any point in the past. Really interesting. I've been working with Google on the Digital Garage project since 2015, and the courses we deliver, the way we deliver our training, the way humans interact and behave has changed in even that short 7-year period. Okay, so mobile in particular, these little things, we carry the power of the internet around with us in our pockets. And our customers, it's human behavior. Our customers are likely doing the same thing. 80% of people in the UK buy things online. 60% of the world's searches are performed on mobile. So think about what that means. We've got all these smartphones in use. We've got people searching on the go, and we've got people buying online, booking online, investigating online, researching online. We are connected at all points. So whereas when I started these courses back in 2015, somebody would have really had to sit at their computer and make a conscious effort. Now, if I think of something, I just take out my phone and I fix whatever problems have occurred to me. So we're living in that really mobile world, digital world, information at our fingertips. We want answers now. We don't want to wait. We don't want to, have to work for it. So whenever you're thinking about servicing your customers, bear in mind that they are human beings too. And we want to try and get yourself into their shoes. So it's phenomenal. And this is really interesting, actually. And we always say this, that you can reach people. One of the great things about digital is that you can reach people globally. You can reach people no matter where in the world they are. You can expand that customer base. People around the world can find your business and deal with you. But actually, one of my favorite parts about digital and the internet is that you can actually really connect locally as well. So you can, connect with that local community who's looking for a business like yours. If you've got a service, that finding a local person to do it. Loads of people do love shopping local, staying in their communities, making a difference locally, and don't necessarily want to always go to the big brands. To be able to find that expertise locally is really, really important. So you can absolutely reach people, whether that's globally or locally to you. Tool on screen at the moment is one of my favorites for doing early stage research. It's a cool tool called Google Trends. Absolutely free to use. You just head over to trends.google.com and you have a little play. We don't have time to go into it in depth. When we talk about search and being found on search, this is one of those tools that helps us to do that. But it also helps us to see what people are thinking. Because remember, I said we think of something, we grab out our phones and search for it. What Google Trends is, it's a searchable database of search. You can't pin it down to individual people. It's about all the search terms that have been made since, I think it's about 2004, have been aggregated and anonymized and presented back to you in a searchable fashion. So I can see when around in the year people are searching for Easter eggs, or I can see when abouts in the year people are searching for summer clothing that can be delivered by the end of the day. Because all of a sudden we've gone warm again. And I know some of you down south might have been warm all this time, but up here in the north, we've had a few very rocky days. Last few days, we would have been looking for umbrellas. Today, we're looking for flip-flops again. So you can see that in real time. If I were to go into Google Trends and look for those sorts of searches, I would be able to see the shape of what's going on in the world by what we search for. It's a phenomenally interesting thing to do. I think we talk about it more when we're talking more in depth on search. So things like get your business visible on Google. We're thinking about search. We're thinking about how people search. Then we will take a bit more of a look at Google Trends as well. But free to use, really easy to get involved with. So do give that one a go. Because it's all about learning about people, learning about your customers. So Google Trends gives you the kind of overall trends, as would some of your social media insights in your trending, what's happening, what people are thinking right now with the trending stuff. You can also learn about your particular customers, the people that you are winning with. So you might have Google Analytics, for example, on your website. If somebody comes to your website, you can see which pages they were most interested in. Whether they came in from Google search or whether they came in from social media, whether they went on to spend some time, engage with you, buy something, fill out a desired action, like fill out a form or get in contact for a quote. You can see all of those clicks that happened and the engagement and the time spent on Google Analytics. And it will also give you some idea of geography, maybe a few demographics in there as well. Similarly with your social medias, any social media platform, their business model is all about getting eyeballs on ads, and then the businesses pay for the ads. So when you think about it like that, what they then do is they provide the businesses with tons of information that will help them make the decision that it would be great to advertise on this platform. So you can see the kinds of people who are on that platform, age, gender, things they're interested in. You can see both for your own page. If you have a business page on any social media platform that's reached maturity to run ads, it's going to give you data and insights and profiles and things about the people who you're already winning with. It's one reason when people are starting out and they ask their friends and family to like their page and follow them, it's not actually a great tactic. It's something I would probably advise against, or maybe once you've got a little bit of volume, start to take it. Because say I had a surfboarding shop, I'm going for the sunny things again, but if I had a surfboarding store online and I asked, my great uncle Fred to follow it because that would help me have numbers. Now, great uncle Fred isn't into surfing, he's into gardening and into motor car racing. So actually having him and his interests almost diluting my pure data is actually not going to be of help, because I might try and find a lookalike audience, for example, that's nothing to do with the actual people who are actually interested. I'd much always rather have a more concentrated, smaller, more concentrated audience than try and reach mass appeal for people who aren't actually ever going to be interested in buying what I've got to say. And of course, communication. If we were here together and I would ask you to pop up your hand if you'd ever, and I'm going to say left a compliment on the internet, reviews, social media, leaving thanks on a website, emailing and saying, here's a great review, testimonials, all of these sorts of things. And yes, people do use them for the flip side as well. It's out there. You know, people if you ever worry about what to say, how to write for social media, write reviews, how to respond to reviews, one of our webinars is called Writing for Social Media. And on that broadcast, you'll be able to spend some time and see, you know, how to go about doing just that, crafting good responses. Every time somebody's talking about you, it is an opportunity for you, for your brand, for your business. It's about being out there and engaging with those things rather than hiding away from them. What can you learn from them? What can you learn from the reviews of businesses that are a bit like yours? What people love about them, what people don't enjoy so much. You can actually read reviews of other businesses and think, right, I'm not going to make that mistake, or they really liked it when everything was painted blue. What a great idea. I hadn't thought of doing that. So you can really use these things to communicate, to support, to learn, and, you know, provide phenomenal customer services to your customers as well. All right, I'm just going to check in with Roshane. We were just saying beforehand, actually, this session's a little bit funny in that I don't think I've said anything controversial just as yet. But we always have, we paused quite early. I can see from Roshane there's no question she needs me to bring to the table at the moment, which is grand. What we'll do is we'll carry on and take a big, deep look at, no, we won't take a big, deep look. We'll take a quick, high-level look, much better, at some of the digital marketing channels out there. I will let you know that I'm just suffering with a little bit of a summer cold, so I am going to keep sipping away at my echinacea. So, what we're going to take a look at now is 6 different channels. Well, I think of these as 5 different channels plus content. Okay, content is the stuff you say. Content is what makes all the other things work, and content pulls in the other ways to get your message out there. So we'll break it down. Those first 5 things that we're going to think about. We're going to think about search. We're going to think both a little bit about search engine optimization and search engine marketing. And we have webinars, broadcasts that go into both of those areas a little deeper, as we do with social media. Talk about social media, quite a high level. We've got 2.5 webinar broadcasts that go into social media in a lot more depth for you. Display marketing comes into one of our other sessions as well. Email marketing, we don't currently have anything standalone for online, but we do cover it in some of our face-to-face sessions that we run around the country. And as I say, content marketing. Of all those things, most people have probably heard of most of them. Not always display marketing. Display marketing is one that is actually becoming easier and easier and easier to get involved with. When I first started out, when display marketing first started, it was incredibly time-consuming and fiddly to do, and best left to big agencies and big companies with big spends. Now, it's a lot easier to get involved in than it used to be, and it does become a measurable, potentially useful tactic because we can target so much better with it as well. We'll come to it as we go through. As I say, you might not know just from online advertising in many different formats on many websites across the internet. You might not know what it is from that. But when I show you some examples, I bet your bottom dollar you'll know exactly what it is I'm talking about. But let's start out with search, okay? Search marketing is really about using the power of search engines to reach out and be found when people are looking for a business, company, service like yours. Okay, I think search is terribly named. I'm not going to go into this in any depth. But actually what you're trying to be is findable. All right, so we've probably all seen something a little bit like the screen on the screen grab on the slides at the moment. It's your search engine results page. We've obviously used a thing from Google, as an example from Google, because, you know, we're here from the Google Digital Garage, but it is worth mentioning that Google's not the only search engine. We choose our search engines for a number of factors. And if you find, for example, that when you look at your analytics, you can see the search engine that people are using to find you. Google, yeah, sure, it's the world's biggest, but there might be circumstances where there's something about the kind of people that you're trying to reach that they don't use Google, that they use a different search engine. That's really, really important behavior to understand, because it tells you quite a lot about the person, actually. So that said, we choose our search engine based on its ability to get us really good quality results really quickly. So the search engine results themselves, the page that they come up here, is evolving, has evolved, will continue to. Depending on what you search for, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but depending on what you search for, the way your results are presented back to you changes. As I say, we go into this in a lot more detail in our webinar called Get Your Business Visible on Google. However, from now on, what I want you to do is we choose our search engine, hopefully Google, obviously, but we choose our own search engine because of its ability to get us those results without us even really having to consider the search engine at all. I want you to break into that thinking. Every time you do a search, you're learning about the marketing. You're learning about search marketing from you as a consumer. So break into your thinking. What comes back here? We've searched for best compact camera for travel. That is our search query. That's the key phrase that we have typed in. It's basically just our question. And something about best compact camera for travel, something about that phrase, that question, has led our search engine to deduce that we might be looking to buy a camera. So what it's shown us back is it starts with some shopping results. And I mean, the shopping results are amazing. If you do have products in boxes on an online store to ship, or even in a physical store to ship, get involved with Google Shopping. Get involved with getting your pictures and all your details and your prices and your reviews right there into the search engine results when somebody's searching. We've also got there some other kinds of ads, different kinds of ads across the platform we're going to look. But here we've got paid text ads and we've got paid shopping ads. An ad is always denoted by the word ad or the word sponsored. They are shown in a way that these are paid results, paid listings. And then below that, we get the natural search, the organic search listing. This is where, your first page of Google comes in, up to 10 listings, where you're going to see some well-matched answers to the question that's been asked. Okay, so why do I spend so much time investigating the search engine results page? It's because it's really important to understand from the user's perspective what's happening. Because we've got search engine optimization. We go more into this in that session I've already mentioned about getting yourself visible on Google. Brilliant tool here to help you is a tool called the Google Search Console. That will show you to be found in those traditional, down here at the bottom, green organic search listings, you need a website. Okay, so if you've got a website, you start optimizing that website to be found, which is called search engine optimization. And one of the best things you can do is understand how Google sees your website. And that tool is called Google Search Console. It used to be called Webmaster Tools, but they changed its name to be maybe a little bit more easily accessible, describe better what you do, because you don't have to be a master of the internet to be able to understand some of the data you're getting back through Google Search Console. And then you have to write interesting stuff, interesting answers to questions that people might be searching for. That's the art of search engine optimization. It's about understanding the questions that you're a good answer to and then providing really good quality content that proves you're a great answer. And then making sure that there's a point to it. If you're selling something, can they contact you for a quote? Can they put those products in their basket? What's the point of what you're doing? And then this idea at the end of helping people understand your content, that's when you get into all the tags and the meta tags and the HTML and the background stuff and filling out all your fields there. There is your titles, your tags, your descriptions, all really important, but they won't work at all if your content isn't providing a good answer to the questions that are being asked. And that's why I always start with the human rather than, you can have the best optimized website in the world, but if you're not optimizing for the right things, then you're not going to be found by the right people. So I'm not going to go into detail about how keyword is a terrible, terrible, terrible name for it. Join us for our longer sessions on search and we'll tell you more about that. Keyword research is the words and phrases that people might search to find a business, product, or service like yours. So think of those longer words, longer phrases, the questions that you're a great answer to, then publish content that proves you're a great answer, and then make those pages search friendly in that order. All right, good. All right, so what's really important, and I mentioned it a bit at the beginning when I was talking about local businesses. People like local business. They want to be seen to be helping local businesses. They like shopping locally. Lots of places that a business that serves its community can get itself found. Things like Yelp, TripAdvisor, if you're in the more touristy aspects of things, Bing, another search engine, Yelp being for more, trusted people, local trades, all of those websites that help with local listings. The Google Business Profile is a phenomenally powerful tool. Google Business Profile plugs your business details directly into the world's biggest search engine and gives you control of that portion of the search engine results. To be found on Google Business Profile in both Google Search and Google Maps, you do not have to even have your own website. You don't have to have a pin on the map. You can show, I'm a plumber, I service the west side of this particular town. I can be seen where in the community that I wish to do business with, somebody in the next town over searching for a plumber is going to get the local plumber for that area. All right. So it's a really powerful tool. We cover it on Get Your Business Visible in Google, but then if we have a webinar broadcast called it's not. It's Find Customers with Google Maps. And that particular piece of content goes into setting up and getting found and doing lots of things there. So absolutely worth doing. Even if you don't have a pin in the map, the same tool drives the local results for Google Search and for Google Maps. Super easy to do. You update your business. You'll have seen these. If you've not seen what I mean, search for coffee near me. And on your phone, the coffee near me search will list out lots of different, it'll show you a map and it'll list out different businesses. I always go for coffee because the Google Business Profile started with retail and with food service businesses, and it's gone out so they've been using it for a lot longer than most of us, and it's still since stretched out to all kinds of businesses with a local intent. Okay, so that's kind of what we would call natural search engine optimization. None of it's free. Say that right now. You spend a lot of time and love and energy getting yourself found in search, whether that's organic or paid. Search engine marketing is when we start looking at advertising on search. Okay, so as I say, your listing itself, yes, it's free, but the work that you do to get yourself found, your website found, or your local business found isn't free, because it's the cost of things. Of what else could you be doing? You could be printing out leaflets and going and handing them out. Is that a better use of your time than trying to get yourself found in search? That's a business decision for you. But with search engine optimization, you optimize for keywords, you do some research and you write some content, and then you kind of make it all nice and mannered and orderly, and you kind of hope that you're kind of seen in a kind of few places. If you want to be a bit more direct about it, and you want to be more specific, then you can pay for search marketing. It says you pay for the listings. You actually tend to mainly pay with pure search engine. You pay per click, PPC. You pay when somebody clicks on your listing. You bid for the keywords that you want to be seen for. And it means you can, rather than waiting for yourself to be found and all of this thing, you can get yourself onto and off that first page straight away. And why I say and off as well, it's actually really highly controllable. Say let's go back to a food service industry. Let's say I'm a venue. And actually on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm really busy. But actually on a Tuesday, I close on a Sunday, or no, I do Sunday lunches on a Sunday and I'm super busy for those. Sunday evening, it dies right off. Monday, I'm closed. Tuesday is a quiet night, Wednesday is quite a quiet night. I might want to run some advertising for things that I'm doing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays to get people to come along. They might not realize I do an end of the weekend menu. So maybe I want to get people out on a Sunday night. Beautiful sunshine, get people coming out for, to extend that weekend because I've got certain things going on. I would use the advertising to fill in when I'm not already busy. What I don't want to be doing is paying for advertising and getting extra people to come along when I was as busy as I could possibly be anyway. Okay, so think about that. That's what's phenomenal about it, that flexibility. So to get started with your search engine marketing, and it's becoming less and less with advertising across Google anyway, it's becoming less and less. I'm going to do search engine marketing, I'm going to do display marketing, and I'm going to do advertise on Gmail. It's becoming less and less siloed. And actually with smart ads now, machine learning, it's becoming a lot more accessible. It's becoming very measurable. And actually you can specify what you want to achieve, and you kind of give your assets over and let the Google Ads platform pull together the best kinds of ads for you. But if you were to do a straight traditional search engine marketing, then you choose the words, you create the campaign with your headlines and your descriptions and a call to action to get people to click. You write those ads, you serve them on the internet, you set your budgets, and then you pop your ads live as and when you want. It's very, very, very controllable. Smart ads, smart bidding, lots of things are coming in to really help the smaller business to spend as little time doing it as possible, make it as easy as possible for smaller businesses to get involved, but also help them to really see the best results from it. The tool you need to do any of that is called Google Ads. All right, so the Google Ad platform, and it manages your ads across any of the, I think it's about 6 we're up to, areas in Google that you could be found. So if you want to be found on the discovery page when people are reading articles about things they're interested in, that's possible on the Google Ad platform as well. Okay, so we talk a lot more about that. We have a webinar that's called Get Started with Digital Advertising, I think. And that goes into search, it goes into display in a bit more detail, and it also goes a bit more detail into social media. So that's if you're at the point where the maturity where you want to start boosting your organic work with some ads, then that's a great place for you to go. But when you're thinking about your search engine marketing, really, really do think about your keyword list. Remember your keywords, just as they are with your organic, it's all about what are people looking for, what questions they're asking that I'm a great answer to. I'm boosting myself up to being found for those things. Another way to boost your ads, things are called extensions. Without being technical about them, they're extra features that you could add to your ad, like you could add a book now link, or directions, or links to your stock. Different kinds of businesses get different options for extensions. They're normally free to add, and that you'll only be offered the ones that would be useful to your business. The more of the extra stuff you fill in, they can't guarantee it's going to show on every ad, but the joy of it is actually, the more extensions that are on your ad, the more of the real estate of the screen it takes up. So the bigger your ad is, the more it's going to be visible when somebody's scrolling through, for example. And if you're going to be running ads, I don't know why this isn't front and center of every page. Connect in your analytics. Your search ads are going to be sending people, hopefully, to your website. You don't want to be just chucking over traffic, paying for clicks, and not knowing what that money is getting you. If you are not measuring, then as far as I'm concerned, you're not marketing. So make sure your analytics, with your web analytics, will measure all those clicks. Set it up so you set some conversion targets. I want to sell some things. I'm running the ads so people buy my stuff. If I've got a sales funnel with, I'm actually shipping products. If I'm more of a kind of business that needs to do quotes and leads and get contacts, then okay, I'll set up the target for the ads is to get to my website and download a white paper that I've put with some contact details, or I want them to come through and fill out my lead form. All of those things you can track and make sure that you are absolutely tracking the benefits of what you're doing, because otherwise, as I say, you're just chucking money at something without realizing what impact it's having. So I've mentioned it a couple of times, display marketing. Display marketing also works from the Google Ad platform. And as I say, the lines are blurring. You can run campaigns that will show in search and in display and in video and in discovery. But when we're talking about display ads, this is what we mean. Okay, I promised you, you will have seen them before. We're talking about ads that show on other people's websites. Beauty of display ads is that the person does not have to be searching for you to be seen, which means you can get people before they're even aware of you, before they're even aware that that need exists, when those questions are still milling around and haven't come out of their fingers as questions yet. So what display advertising does is it works on the fact that if I'm interested in something, if I'm reading some content, then displaying relevant ads around it will help get the eyeballs on that particular business. Say I'm selling something to do with, here we've got something to do with food. It's an article about food. Maybe you'd actually have, you could have advertisers who were to do with food want to be seen around that article. Or it could be that whatever Lean Plum was doing, that the people who, it was actually the person themselves, they'd shown some interest in, looks like some kind of business topics. So that person starts to see ads based on business topics around whatever it is they're reading. All of these things are controllable within the Google Ad platform. And it's about the different ways you go about targeting your audience. Best kind of ads for display are visual. The idea isn't necessarily to get actual clicks there and then. It's about raising awareness, getting yourself found. It also works at the other end of the sales funnel, when you are, maybe somebody has bought something or put something in the basket and then got distracted and done something else. Okay, so to do it, you get involved with Google Ads, display type for pure display ads. You provide it with some images, you provide it with your copy, you provide it with your call to action, and it kind of pops it in the blender, and out come the ads that match to the different formats that are available on the different sites. Different ways of targeting as well. We go into a much more detail about all of that stuff in the digital advertising broadcast. As with everything, none of the other stuff works if this isn't happening. So you really need to understand your customers, what visuals are going to appeal to them, what words are going to appeal to them, where would they be looking for information. Okay, remarketing is where you take that pair of shoes that somebody's left in the basket and remind them of them when they're on somebody else's website. Oh, I did love that pair of shoes. I was just waiting for payday, and I might go back and purchase them. And with everything, test it and optimize it, by which I mean dedicate a little bit of budget, try something, test it. If it works, do more of it. If it doesn't work, try something else. Marketing, digital marketing, it isn't just a task that you do once and then, pop it in a drawer, tick it, and off it goes. It should be an evolving, ongoing, I am going to say obsession, but maybe that's just me. All right, so social media marketing. Social media is advertising on social media sites. Tons of new sites coming up. Even just over the last few days, there's been news of new social media platforms coming into play. So one of the first things to think about for any platform is, which platforms are going to help you reach the customers you want to. And social media absolutely can and does help some businesses to grow sales, to serve their customers better. You know, we saw all those reviews and things. We saw those connections. We saw that direct feedback to the businesses. Can help you improve your marketing, help you get out there, improve your awareness, people's awareness of who you are and what you do and behind the scenes and what have you. As I say, we've got tons of broadcasts and content all about getting found on social media, writing for social media, that sort of thing. Just as with search, actually, and with lots of different areas of the internet, there's your organic, and there's your paid, okay? With social media, more than probably any other channel, it's increasingly becoming, for businesses, pay to play. To get yourself in front of those potential customers, it's going to be about, you could create 16 pieces of content a day and post them out, and then as soon as the person's thumb scrolls past them, that piece of content is gone. A lot of time and love and energy and cost gone into creating all that content. A different strategy is to make one really good piece of content and then get it seen by lots of different people. So with paid social media, that's what you can do. Organic, you'll only ever reach a portion of the people who follow you and potentially a portion of their connections. However, with paid social media, you can choose an audience to be seen by. And if they've got a presence on that platform, you can potentially reach them. Okay, if you can identify them and if you can say something that's of interest to them and use to them. So it's really, really interesting. Tons of social media marketing, tons of social media platforms out there. The idea of the target audience is the most important. Try and work out who the people are you're trying to reach, and therefore which social media channel. And we've said channels, and we've listed a whole bunch of channels. Start with one, try it, test it. If it works, do more. If it doesn't, do less. Just because we've listed a whole bunch of channels there, don't think that you have to, and we're suggesting that you go ahead and get visible on all of them. And then to be found, you have to be thinking up, same really as with search. What are people interested in? What are the questions they're asking? And how can I prove I'm useful, I'm interesting, I'm relevant to them? And that's when it comes to really good quality content. Okay. Set yourself one goal for one channel. All right. Don't try and do it all. Really try and understand your audience. You know, if you find that your audience is on a platform that you're not familiar with, get familiar with the platform, how it works, what the different features are. You know, find a teenager to ask if that's the audience you're trying to target. If you're trying to target a different audience, try and find those people and ask them how they use the platform. Really understand what they want, what they're interested in, the sorts of things they'd expect to see on that particular platform. And then it's about being consistent. Don't post 10 updates because you've been to one of our sessions and you're feeling really proactive and then post nothing for weeks. Try and be consistent. Set yourself a target of a couple of posts a week, for example, and be consistent with those things. We'll quickly touch on email because it's where I started out. It's still a super useful tool for smaller businesses. We're not talking about junk mail here. We're not talking about spam. What we're talking about is highly personalized, direct communication with people who have given you permission to communicate with them. Okay. So first thing important, permission-based. You can't just, from the time when the person gave you their email address, you had to be explicit with the purposes you were going to use it for. So if you've got 5 years worth of emails that people gave you when they placed orders, unless you collected permission at the time to use them for marketing, you can't just scoop them all up and start marketing to them. Okay. Start from today. Look into the legalities of getting permission and start building that list of relevant contacts. You need to select yourself a platform. There again, these are becoming more and more integrated. If you're using a system, it may well have an emailer, a customer emailer on it, some kind of CRM system, some kind of data management software. Quite often does already have an emailing platform built in. So investigate your options there. There's no one best. Build up that list of relevant contacts. Try and learn a little bit about them and segment them. So when we say segmenting them, think of an orange where it's got all those little different pieces inside it. Inside your whole audience, there might be homogenous groups. So within one segment, and the easiest segmentation or the most simple to understand, maybe your segments, you've got a segment who've bought from you before, and you can identify people who have bought from you, and people who are on your list but haven't bought from you yet, but you have given you permission to talk to them. How would you talk differently to those? Make sure you're as tailored as you can be to your audience groups. Whenever you're doing it, keep the emails simple. The more pictures and videos and links and things that you build into this beautifully crafted email, the more likely those things are going to get stopped in the spam filters, if I'm perfectly honest. People don't necessarily trust unsolicited emails with links in them. So, imagine you're that person. How's that, if they don't have images, if they choose not to display the images, how's that email going to look? I get emails from very big companies that if you don't display the image, you literally just get the header and footer of the email, because whoever's on their side hasn't thought that through. And then measure it, optimize it, do more of what works, do less of it what doesn't. And every single thing I've spoken about is driven by content. Content is what you say and how you say it. How do you tell your story, whether that's videos, images, blocks of text, white papers, case studies, longer form articles, blogs, tons and tons of ways you could tell your story. No one best way. Lots of people are engaging with video. There's different kinds of video. Lots of people short form, long form, all sorts of things. Okay. So think about how you can tell your story, and not just how you're going to tell your story, but this part here, the customer journey map. When I've not heard of you yet, I need different information to get familiar with you than when I've specced you in and decided that this is the deep solution I want. And then I need all of the really deep information about you. If I try and give the really deep technical specifications when people's first searching, it's not going to resonate with them. So think about, how does somebody go from never heard of you all the way through to loving you? And what content can you use to bring them along that journey as we go? And how are you going to distribute it? We've mentioned as we were going through that different methods, maybe it's something like social media to find the people in the first place, or display when they don't know who you are. Then they move through and they need some information that they might, when they're ready to make the decision, they'll find it through search. And then later, how do you keep them happy again at the other end of that funnel? So really think about that human being being brought along that journey, and what are you going to need at all the different times to get you there. Okay, I can see no questions that Shane hasn't been able to answer for me, which is phenomenal, because I want to jump in and spend a little bit of time on this, our final section, which is your structure for pulling together all the stuff we've learned into a marketing plan, and then using that marketing plan to work out where you need to go back and do a bit more learning, a bit more research. Okay, so we're giving you a very simple 6-step plan. Now we've put them in a line. I'm going to tell you, I've helped hundreds of businesses with their marketing plans, built a few myself from start to finish. It's never a straight line process. All right, but it's more like sometimes it's a circle. So you might, when you get to the measurement, go back to the start. It's more likely to look like a ball of string that a kitten's been playing with. Okay, it's all over the place. We've got to put it into straight lines, but don't think you have to do one after the other in order. Something you learn later on down the line might bring you right back to thinking again about the beginning part. Don't be afraid of that. This isn't a task that we do. This is an ongoing way of informing our entire business. Okay, so first step, think about our business. What do we need to achieve? What are our goals? What are our objectives? Then think about what's realistic. Your budget, your resources, the skills you've got, the time you've got. Okay. Then the audience, who are we trying to reach? What are their issues? What are their problems? What are they trying to fix? With those 3 things, the more we know about those 3 things, the better the rest of it's going to be. So think about what we need to achieve as a business, what our budget is, what our resources are, what skills we've got, and who we're trying to reach. From those things, in that audience, we'll be thinking about that customer journey map, for example. All of those things together should start to highlight a few areas that it might be worth us being found. And that's when we decide what the channels we want to use are. Okay. We decide the channels we're going to use. We plan out the activity. We do our activity. We measure it. We go back to the beginning and loop around again. What have we learned? What does it change? Okay. SMART goals. You might have heard of it. It's kind of marketing 101. At the end, in fact, if you want to play along, let Roshane know if you know what SMART goals are, what SMART stands for. You do feel free to let Roshane know as well. Okie dokie. So, business goals and objectives. I'm going to introduce you right now to our lovely friend Max. Max is a hairdresser. We choose a hairdresser as a case study simply because it's the business type model, that fairly simple business model. Lots of businesses have similar business goals, easy enough to understand. Max has business goals of getting more customers. Easy enough. But Max's customers he wants previous customers, and he wants to find new customers. And Max wants to let more people in the local area know that they exist. So they're a bricks and mortar business. You have to come along and see them to have your hair cut. How do more people locally? It's not about being found globally. This is a real local story for you. Okay, so that for your business, have a think about your business. What would your business objectives be? Do you want to bring people to your premises? Do you want to find more people for you to go out and see to, if you're a plumber or some kind of, external cleaning or something? What's your business? What do you actually want to do with it? What do you want to achieve? Okay. And think about that as a business first before you think about the digital side of things. This is what the business wants to do. We then start thinking, okay, if our business wants to do this, what can we do digitally online to help support it? Always work that way around. Don't think this is what I'm going to do online. Oh, where does that fit into the wider picture of my business? Too many times I see, for instance, somebody doing social media who's the lowest paid, youngest member of staff who nobody really even ever talks to, because they're just doing social media over there and it's not seen as fundamental to how the business is finding its customers. Okay, so really think about how your online objectives, whether that's more website traffic, online sales, filling out that lead form, getting more involved in social media. What is it that business needs its online work to do for it? And those goals should align. So if your business needs to make more people know that you exist, then you want to be looking at increasing your online reach, your online awareness, using the digital, the online tools to let people know locally that your business exists, or globally if you're that kind of business as well. If you want to sell more products, then that might be increase your website sales. If you want to get more customers for a business-to-business business where it's not about a sale of a box, it's about selling a service, that might be completing the lead form and then taking that lead form all the way through to quotation stage, for example. If you want more returning customers, your digital goal might be getting more repeat traffic to your website, increasing the number of people who click through on your emails and come back to view your next week's offer. Then think about what is possible. Really honestly look at your business. Okay. What do you already have? What do you need? What can you realistically afford to do? Time and skills worth. Okay. So with Max doesn't have a website yet. It's too much of an investment for them right now. And that's okay. When I started this 7 years ago, I'd be a bit worried. There wasn't as much you could do. Maybe a good social media presence. Now there's tons you can do without having to bring people to your own website. Quite often customers actually prefer not having to go to your website. You go to where they're at and see them there. Then think about your audience. We talk a lot about audience profiling when we do our broadcast on It is writing for social media. We think about audience a lot and tailoring the way we write to that audience. So join us for that one if you want to learn more about audience descriptions and audience definitions. Okay. Remember, you're thinking about people. So for Max, the people that she wants to find are female and they live in a particular geographic area. Okay. Max also knows that her most valuable customers are female and over 30 years old. Maybe they go in for, maybe they've got a bit more time, a bit more disposable income. Maybe they need their colour doing as well as the cut, and they'll take the treatments as well. So segmenting their customer section down into people who just like kids come in, quick cut, off they pop. You know, it probably takes almost as long as doing a full grown-up cut, but you can't charge as much for it. Okay, so thinking about your segments, who you're trying to reach, who you're having to target. Max meets these people and can talk to them every day, which is brilliant for her. So knows that they normally have children, they work part-time, and most of them use Facebook. By knowing the audience, I can really start to straight away, my little mind is pinging into lots of things that Max could do to start to try and fulfill those business goals of getting those repeat customers back, but also bringing new people in the area in. Okay. And that's what the next part is all about. We know what we need to achieve as a business, what resources we've got to dedicate to this on the long term, not just for the next 2 weeks while we're excited about it, and who we are trying to reach. And that's when we start to choose those channels to have a go with. We've deliberately restricted these to 3 per objective. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to increase the number of people who knew about me, that's my online reach and my awareness. People don't know about me yet, so I need channels where they are not I'm not relying on them knowing on me. I can go out and find them. So we've thought about display there, thought about social media there, going out with those and really using that early stage content to get them knowing about us and get them excited about us. If a little bit later I had some sales that I wanted to achieve, I've already raised awareness, people already have a good idea who I am, then I'm turning to search, because when they're in that I want to buy something phase, they're searching, then I want to use my search engine optimization, my marketing, and potentially my email marketing to get those repeat sales in as well. Okay, so choose the channels, choose 2 or 3 channels to fit into your plan. All right. Then you get involved in the activity. And this is why you shouldn't choose too many channels all at once, because there's a lot to do. So Max wanted to reach more people in the local area. So the first thing Max is doing is getting themselves a Google Business Profile. Used to be called Google My Business. It's now called Google Business Profile. Okay. That's a great tool for local search. They're also going to set themselves up a Facebook page. They're going to collect reviews on there and on the Google Business Profile. And they're going to start posting pictures of customer hairstyles. And then they might boost that with Facebook advertising. They might boost that with ads running off their Google Business Profile. They don't need a website for any of those things. Okay, so they can really get that achievable. And when you're advertising, they will know that they will set their advertising targets to be booking of appointments. So they will know that we spent this on advertising on Facebook and this on advertising on Google Business Profile, and they each led to this much in the way of confirmed bookings, confirmed appointments. And that's when it becomes really interesting. And then SmartWise, how you will know if you succeeded. Think about really focusing in. The smart part of objective setting is being really focused with your objectives. So rather than just saying sell more things, how much are you going to sell? What of? Where are you going to sell it? Why even? And when are you going to do it by? So here we've got to increase online sales, a bit specific, by 20% within 3 months. I can't tell whether that's realistic. I can't tell whether it's relevant to what they're doing, whether it's achievable, all of those A's and R's in the middle. But they've made it time-bound, they've made it measurable, and they've made it specific. Then the relevant and the achievable, well, that comes down to them. Okay, so remember, this is how Max's plan looks. This is what Max wanted to do. Doesn't have a website, can't afford it right now, wanted to achieve these things. And this is as simple. Now, if this were me doing it, there'd be Post-its all over a wall. As I'd be, you don't have to use a digital tool to pull your marketing plan together. And don't file it away once it's done. Pop it on a wall. Make it big, make it so everybody can see it, and you remind yourself. And the more things you learn, the more things you pop about it. So remember your business goals, your budget and resources, your audience, those 3 things together help you decide the channels that you're going to use. Then you plan out your activity, and that's signing up for an account, building the page, running the ads, whatever it might be, and make sure you're measuring, and those measurements are reinforming that whole marketing cycle. I am so sorry, Roshane, we have absolutely crashed through the time barrier, so I'm not going to be able to take any time for questions, but I know that she's been able to sort any that we did have, Roshane would have been able to fill out as we go. Consider your next steps. What are you going to do for the rest of the afternoon? In fact, before it even gets to afternoon, what are you going to do to make what you've just learned, cement that, make it into reality? Choose a couple of intentions, write them out, let Roshane know what they are. Remember, if you do work for a small business or a charity and you're based here in the UK, you can go to g.co/UK mentoring and sign up for one of those free one-to-one sessions. Maybe there's tons of things going on in your head. Join us for some other webinars, broadcasts, take a course, learn more, put something into practice, give it a go. As I say, if you tell us about it, that's telling the universe of your intention set. We will be your accountability buddies on these. All right then. So, as I say, we've absolutely crashed through time. Thank you so much for your patience with me. Thank you for staying with me. Thanks for those questions. Great work from Roshane, keeping us all tickety-boo. Got loads more Google Digital Garage broadcasts coming your way, so do keep an eye on our website. It's linked in the description below. Lots of topics available, and we do have that schedule does update regularly. Do also catch us out around and about in the UK. We list our open face-to-face events on that website as well. Otherwise, #Digital Garage, talk about us on your socials. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thanks to Roshane for being amazing. We both look forward to welcoming you again to another Google Digital Garage training session sometime soon. Have a great day.